Live your life with your friend. Pursue big things and accomplish your dreams. Learn to love and learn to grow. The Spouse Podcast, you are in the know. SBO USA, SBO USA. What can be your true destiny? SBO USA, SBO USA.
And thanks, punks, and welcome back, guys, to another episode of the Spouse Podcast. We are continuing our talks as we go into episode 3 here about the spouse acronym behind us. And we did set goals together.
Yep.
We did pray together. And the O,
Now we are on openly communicate.
openly
But
communicate.
don't just openly communicate. Nicely openly communicate, right? We have a few tips from the beginning of, okay, you're going to have a serious talk. Do we want to do that
Yeah.
anytime?
Yeah.
Or are there certain guidelines we want to follow, right?
Yeah, so we're just going to jump right into it, guys. And one thing we'll say is openly communicate or communication is definitely the silent killer in marriage, right? It's something that if it is not done properly
Or at all.
yeah, it can definitely flatten and destroy a marriage. So that is a big one, and it is not easy. There's a book that's
No.
like Men Are From Mars and Women Are From Venus, and I'm sure some have read it, but the idea of that is like we are literally sometimes we feel like from two different planets.
Yes.
But that is what the unique part of marriage is learning how to communicate together, right? It's the same. I would go back and say this real quick. It's the same of like when you get a dog and
When you get a spouse or a dog,
yeah, when you get a spouse
potato.
yeah, or a dog. But that's
You have
a good
to train them.
yes, but you
No.
have to learn. Do you get what I'm saying though?
Can I just
Interject?
relate my yeah? I
Please.
feel like you're taking a whole. Okay, it's not like training, but it's like okay, you speak the same language but different dialects,
Yes.
right?
Well, and I was just going to get to your dad, who, if you guys don't know, my wife's father, my father-in-law, is a cattle rancher, and he has dogs. And you grew up with border collies, and it's really, really cool to see what those dogs can do. But communicating to them and giving them commands and understanding how they're going to react and do that is like the key part of that. And when they're running well and doing well, it's super amazing by words that your dad can say to those dogs and they know what to do. And obviously that comes with just time and working with them. So my point with that whole thing is like, yeah, like obviously there's no relation. It's not nice to say a woman and a dog, right?
Give your spouse a treat.
Yeah, don't give your spouse a treat. But it was just an analogy of saying like, it takes time when you get a dog. If you don't like talk to your dog and work with your dog, guess what? It's not going to do anything. It's going to run around like a wild animal and just be crazy because that's how it is. It's from it's literally from a different planet in a lot of ways, right? But if you work with it and you teach it and you tell it to do certain things, it starts to respond by the discipline and the things you're teaching it, and then also becomes man's best friend in that way. So anyway, that was just, I went off into the weeds there, but I just thought of really quick, like it's very, very important in a marriage to communicate, and it is not easy. So that's, I think, what we're getting to here. Hopefully that builds a basis for everybody.
So the first thing we want to, first tip, I should say, we want to share is the timing of when you need to have a serious conversation or maybe talk about an issue. What do we want to do, hun? You want to do it when you're tired and you're angry and you're hungry. No, just kidding.
No, so
Remember,
yeah, so
halt.
there's the HALT. HALT. Hungry, angry, lonely, or tired. Those are things that are common in a relationship because if you have kids or just all this stuff going on, and it's not a good time to communicate. It can really,
Well-
really stir things up.
Right. Also, you can replace the hungry with hormonal.
Oh,
That's, there's definitely certain times that you don't want to bring up issues, right? It's just kind of learning how your spouse receives things the best way. And obviously, our goal is to solve the issue, and it's us against the issue. It's not us fighting over the issue.
right.
So it's just good to remember that when we're trying to solve something, not find out who's right.
Yeah. You totally sounded Canadian right there. Did you
I am
notice
Canadian.
that? You said out,
No, I am
find
Canadian.
out. Oh, you are Canadian?
I'm
See, we
totally
did
not.
not communicate
I
enough.
just married you for citizenship.
Oh, man. Well, I
I'm just
failed, so
kidding.
maybe we should do a new episode because, no,
Because
I've
he
obviously...
didn't communicate and get to know me first.
I didn't get to know her apparently, folks. So sorry about that. Yeah, no. Anyway, but going back to halt, right? Like that's super important. And like you just said, not just hungry, hormonal because
Worse than hungry or hangry.
yeah. And that's something I think most men, if you're new at marriage, it's hard to read that side of things and when it's good and okay to talk to your wife or not. And I think a good example. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Do you remember, I don't know if maybe I just read that portion of, I want to say it was Dr. Gary Chapman book, where he talked about women have different seasons, and it took him years to like identify in his wife, okay, first there's spring, and it's all flowers and butterflies, and then it's like, by the time you get to winter, like, just stay away.
Yeah.
Okay, it wasn't that, but
I think
you
it was.
get
It was.
You
Yeah.
get similar.
It was like the 5 love
picture.
languages guy. Yeah.
Yep.
Dr. Gary Chapman.
Yeah, like
Yeah. That was super good. Definitely look that up because it's funny, but it's so true.
it's so true.
It's so
He's
true.
like, man, why is my wife so mad sometimes?
Yeah. Yeah. And it's hard. Like we as men kind of get like lost out there because we're like, wait a second. I thought like everything was good. And we still
Right.
struggle with that today. It's not
Yeah.
like there's a time and place like where we just know like, oh, she's good and let's talk. Cause you'll talk and it's like, there's no response here. Like,
Well,
this is not going to work. And then you
okay.
have to, at that point, like what I would do is I would continue to engage. Cause I'm like, what's
oh
wrong
yeah,
with you?
yeah. You need to talk this out.
Yeah. We need, you stop what you're doing. But,
yeah.
But like I've learned now over the years,
Back it up.
back it up. So I want to give an example. In our re-engage group last night, we had a couple talk about this, and you'll remember as I start telling you probably, but it was so good. They're newly married. They've been married like 3 months. Yeah. So you already know. And this was so amazing, right? So she is at home. She works from home. He's gone all day. And they have 2 dogs. And she was like, I need to bathe the dogs.
yeah.
Or 3
Or
dogs,
three.
whatever. Yeah.
They're more
So-
than one.
yeah, so she's taking him in this back room to bathe them. She knows it's going to make a mess, and her husband's going to come home and see the mess, and he's not going to be happy, right?
Well,
and
when
plus,
they hear him get home,
it gets crazy.
they freak out.
Yeah. So all in all, it was just going to be a mess. So he comes in the door, and he just needed to grab the keys to the car because he had to go drop off the rental car and pick up their actual car. And he was like, I'm just going to do the right thing as a man. I've had a long day. I'm going to come home, and I'm just going to go inside and give my wife a kiss. And so he hears her back in the room, and he goes open the door, and she says, what?
She's like, "Don't come in here."
Yeah, don't come in here, not now. And like shuts the door in his face.
Well, no,
Like, he was like-
she just yelled
No,
until
no.
he shut the door.
Yeah, so he like now get this picture because this is newlyweds, right?
Yeah.
And on top of that, like he was telling us before, he has a really, really hard job, right? So he comes home, he's like destroyed, tired. Most time when we come home like that, we don't even want to talk to anybody. We just want to sit down and watch TV because we're worn out. But he did the right thing, right? He was like, I'm going to go right to my wife and I'm going to tell her how much I love her.
Or not.
Or yeah. And that happens and she shuts the door in his face pretty much. Don't come in right now. And he was like, let me just say this. How would you feel if you come home and you go in to say hi to your wife and that's what happens to you? we were just kind of talking about that loosely last night as couples, and we were like, yeah, like the man would just be like, you're not going to shut me out of my house, and like push the door open, let me inside, and we're going to talk. Anyway, he does the right thing, and he
had to go return the loaner car to the dealership, get his car.
Yeah. So he walks away, he leaves, and he's driving to the dealer, and he's mad. He was like, I was like super pissed off. I was like, what the heck? And he's like, I started thinking through it, and I was like, okay, obviously,
There's a reason.
this is why she had the dogs, blah, blah, blah. So he took his emotions out of it. Even men, we have
he
emotions.
didn't even know why.
I think, yeah, okay.
He didn't even know why. She just yelled at him to shut the door.
So
I'm like, that was even better on him that he's like, wow, there had to be a reason.
Right.
Surely I don't know what it is. But
and you could see how much this is like exciting to us because this stuff's happened and it's went the opposite way. But the best part is so he comes home and he's forgiven, right? But he's also kind of still like, what the heck? What was up with that? As soon as he walks in the door, she looks at him and just goes, I'm so sorry. This is what happened. And the whole thing got smoothed over. I didn't mean to yell at you. This is why that happened. And they were like, everything was good.
Yeah.
The opposite of that.
It almost always goes the opposite way, right? Where we're like, okay, I'm going to take that the wrong way and get upset.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's always easy to get offended, I guess.
Yes. Reacting versus responding.
Yeah, so good job by them, especially only being married for a few months.
Yeah, that's like, that's huge. So, but going back to, so we have the HALT method, right? Now that's super important just to know those things because that does happen. We get hungry, lonely, all those things will happen to us.
We are not our best selves. It's just like sometimes when you need to, okay, let's, there's, don't go to bed angry. You hear that a lot, but don't continue to fight it out either. Sometimes you might need a breather, right? But yeah, that's just one tip on men communicating with women.
Yes, totally.
And then the next thing too is probably another huge issue that comes up is the wife will want to tell her husband about tell or complain or vent, whatever you want to call it. They want to tell their husband something, right? What's the husband want to do?
Yeah, the husband just
just tell me. I empathize with you so much. Oh.
Yeah, no.
Nope.
Yeah, what do we want to do? We want to fix it, right? We're like, hey, so,
you say no more.
Yeah, exactly.
I got this.
I will take care of your problems. I am here to rescue you, honey, and I will fix all these things for you. So like a good example would be like you come home like from work or something and you just had a long day. And
maybe you're complaining about a coworker or something and they're like, depending on the man, right? They'll have different solutions for that problem, but they're like, no, you don't need to continue telling me about this. I already know how we're going to fix it.
Right.
And the wife's like, no, I just need to talk about it and you to hear me, right?
Yeah.
So I guess knowing, okay, are you coming to me with a problem you want solved or are you just needing someone to listen?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Which I know it can be hard for men, but...
And we don't, and we want to go right to the fix. Because as men, we're like the protectors, the providers, right? And biblically, yeah, that's accurate. Like we're doing that, but we have to slow down a little bit and remember that our wives are very emotional and they need to work these things out. And that's like for you, especially you just want to talk through it and you don't need me there to solve it. Like you're just like, don't just stop, close your yap. Don't say anything to me.
I'm not done here.
Yeah, I'm not done, buddy. You just sit down and you listen. Yeah. No, but
I don't do that often. But
I never did. I think especially when we were first married is like you had stuff going on and you didn't tell me. Or you did tell me.
You're like,
and I didn't.
Well, I try to tell you and then,
Yeah, I would go into fix mode and try to fix it. And it just made matters worse for you instead of just listening. And it's so hard. So what we're saying with that is like for men in that situation, just take time to listen. You don't need to respond. You just need to listen and then maybe give them some chocolate and give them a hug.
Let them eat. let them not be hormonal.
Yeah.
Let them get some rest.
Chips and salsa,
Just
whatever.
let them talk it
Yeah,
out.
just let them get it off
Yeah.
their chest, and it's
Yeah. And another thing, it was interesting, when you get in a group of couples and you bring stuff up, sometimes you think, okay, maybe it's just us, right? And then you'll bring something up and all of the women go, oh my goodness, yeah, that's totally me. And all the men are like, oh, we totally agree with that, right? One thing that came up, which was interesting and is another kind of helpful tip of when we communicate, is typically men, I'm saying typically, not always. So they do not mind to like being critiqued, right? Or, you could do this better, or, and I'm not saying it's all men, obviously. It's never 100% men, 100% women, but typically men accept critiques and criticism, and women are like, how dare you? You're tearing me apart.
yeah.
It's just received differently. So
Is that, sorry to interrupt,
Mm-hmm.
but is that like emotional, you think, more like your response? Because for me, like when I hear those things, and we were talking this last night in our couples group too, was like, for men, it's like, I'm good, like, correct me, man. Like, tell me, like, hey, dummy, you did that wrong, do it right. This is how you should do it. And I'm okay with hearing that. Is it emotional response for you? Like, where you're just like, that hurts, instead of like just taking, because I just take it factually.
right. I don't know. I don't really have an answer for that.
Okay,
Other
yeah.
than, okay, are you like just picking on me?
I'm just picking on you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
And
knew it. I knew it.
And that does, because I feel like that's where we've come across arguments, is because I'm just trying to help
you're
you.
like, let me give you feedback. And I'm like, I did not ask for your feedback. Maybe that's it.
That's
Unsolicited advice.
Unsolicited advice. I'm pretty good at giving feedback to anybody,
Yeah.
and even if they don't want it.
Yeah, and I'm
And
like,
especially,
okay.
yeah, like we do that a lot, and I'll say stuff to you, and you're like, okay, enough's enough, buddy.
Right.
Enough's enough. So
Yeah.
outside of that, what are some other big things that couples can learn to communicate and work their communication more?
So if there's something that, okay, it's an issue or it's hard to talk about, and you want to bring it up to your spouse, and they're not hungry, angry, lonely, or tired, we want to not start it out with, you always, or pointing the finger. That's just immediately, like, there's different reactions, right? Some people will get defensive, some people will shut down, some people will, like, get fired up and retaliate. So it's usually better, which this is one tip also that we use at the couples group, is pretend you have a hula hoop around yourself. You are only allowed to talk about the person within the hula hoop. So you can say, I feel, or this makes me feel, or I think this, rather than, accusations. It's just kind of like, I think they call it like, like a soft start.
Yeah, and that's yeah, I love the hula hoop, by the way. That's been a lot of fun watching the couples and stuff like that. Like, oh, let's get out the hula hoop. That is really good. The shirt too, like, I'm trying to remember exactly what this shirt says, but it's basically it's like a successful marriage starts here.
Oh,
and it's
yeah.
like, it's us, right? We're pointing at ourselves. So one thing we encourage couples and ourselves to look into is always ourselves. Look inward. What is it that we need to change? And it's so easy in marriage to be pointing the finger at the other one and being like, well, if you did this and you did that, blah, 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 then our marriage will be better. And
who can you change? We can only change ourselves, right?
Yeah.
But we always, not always, most of the time, we always want the other person to change, right? I mean, that's easier. It's always harder to self-reflect and go, what can I do better? What am I messing up on?
100%.
People don't usually like to do that. So
No.
when you sit down and you go through, like we've gone through checklists of, okay, there's these qualities of being a better, like communicator,
Right.
like showing appreciation, listener, different things. And it's like when you sit down and go one by one, oh, am I communicating kindly? Am I, giving them a chance to explain why they did what they did before I just assume why they did that? That can help too.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on to other like difficult topics, because there's so many out there. Like we can go like finances, in-laws, mother-in-law, whatever. There's so many other topics.
And if
Ex-wife. Like,
if we're gonna have a tough conversation, you want me to just surprise you, or do you want me to say, "Hey, we gotta have a talk later," and
yeah.
kind of give them a heads up and not,
Well, I think the
ambush
best time,
them.
yeah, the best time for you to do would be when I'm hungry, angry,
Yeah,
lonely,
for
and
sure.
tired. And then bring
Yeah.
up like a really, really tough topic, like, hey, let's talk about the ex-wife, or hey, by the way, I just
Your
checked.
mom is terrible, or you're you're
just-
like, yeah, that's awesome. Thank
Yeah.
you for that. Maybe you could prepare me with, hey, there's something that I really need to talk with you about, and
Right.
then they'll hopefully be a little more prepared and open to receiving
I
that.
think that's the strategy too, and there is strategy to this communication thing.
Yeah.
It's not like it's like, okay, I'm going to do it now. I think men, we kind of go off of that. We're like, okay, communicate like this. You have to be strategic, and watching your spouse and seeing how they are, how they're feeling. You'll know after a while of being with them, you'll know how they are, and if like you're like, ooh, they're not looking too good right now. Now again, with women, that kind of hormonally changes, because you're like, yeah,
Right.
they seem fine.
Actually have like 4 different wives every month, so good
Hey,
luck.
I know we can look at that as a good thing.
Right,
We're like, awesome. Each month,
Sometimes it's,
each
are
week
you
it's
my
different.
springtime nice wife, or are you the ice queen of winter?
Yeah, but
And every woman's different too. Like maybe your wife doesn't mind, like constructive criticism, or there's no, one size fits all to everything.
correct.
So
Yeah. And so being strategic about these conversations when you're going to talk about money, or you're going to talk about in-laws or sex or whatever the case is, it's like, find the time to do that. Like even sometimes you can prompt ahead. You could be like, hey, I need to talk to you about the finances. When is a
Yeah.
good time that you
Right.
can do that? Because and you already know, like you're already telling him, like, this isn't a
Heads
good
up,
one. This is
heads
going to be
up.
rough.
warning.
Yeah. So
And-
something like that, and then
yeah.
from there going right into like, okay, we're going to do it at this time. Let's sit down and talk about it. And before you get into discussion, take time to pray.
Yep.
Just because
Yes.
what does prayer do? Not only you're praying to God and you're asking for help through this, but prayer also naturally calms us down, right? Because we're in like a meditation mode. We're calming our
Absolutely.
breathing. We're relaxed when we're in prayer. So when we come out of that,
And then we're like, oh, God's watching what I say.
yeah, we're thinking, oh yeah, God's here. It's not like it's like, hey, we're going to talk about money, but first let's go like get into a fight or go box or do something crazy, get all our energy
Get
up, get our
amped up.
levels super high, drink a couple Red Bulls, and now let's sit
yeah.
down and have a conversation.
We're
Are
gonna
you ready?
hash this out.
Yeah.
And that being said, too, if even, there's different topics and discussions that even if you pray, even if you have that soft start, even if you have that warning and everyone's well fed and not tired, and things get escalated, just take a 5-minute break, take a 10-minute break, calm down, and then revisit it. Because once it's at a certain level, it's just not productive, and it's just going to be damaging anyway.
Yeah, and that's I think where Satan comes into marriages a lot of times is we'll have the best of intentions, just like our the couple we were just talking about earlier, where he had the best of intentions to do something, and it literally could have just blown up. That like literally could have made things really bad for them, and because he was smart and how he responded was different. But yeah, exactly. When you get into those moments and it gets heated, and it will, like my wife was just saying, step away from that. Take a breath. Just be like, hang on. Like, and you don't even need to say more. Just be like, okay, I'm just going to take a break for a second. I love you. I just need a break.
Yeah.
And
Because
let it,
chances are by that point, someone has just put up a wall anyway. So it's not really going to progress. Another good thing too, when you're communicating, or a lot of times we'll be saying really the same thing and we're hearing it differently, and then after 5 times of kind of back and forth, yeah, that's what I was saying this whole time. So kind of, like I forget the term for it, but it's kind of like active listening, but like repeating that back. Okay, what I hear you saying is this. Is this what you mean? Just to try to understand, okay, this is what you're trying to say. Am I hearing that right?
yeah.
Just to, confirm.
Yeah, come back on that and like and then like walk back through that. Yeah, that's a really, really good point.
Yes.
Really good point.
And we have for you a gold nugget.
Oh,
This is
boy.
for the men.
Oh, is it?
You remember it, okay? Put this one in your back pocket. So, your wife's upset. And you don't understand why, because you think she's just emotional, right?
Mm-hmm.
It makes sense that you feel that way. That's what you need to say to her. It makes sense. I understand why you feel that way.
I should write this down.
Yes,
I
you
feel
should write
like this is
down.
all
Yes.
to me right now.
Do you see like the laser
I
eyes?
know. I like.
Write this down, Jeff. No.
Let me say
No,
it
I'm
again.
just
It
kidding.
makes sense.
It makes sense that you feel that way.
It makes sense that you
Yes,
feel that way.
You are saying your feelings are valid, honey.
Okay.
And then that's the woman is like, oh, thank you.
Dang, really?
Yeah.
You just broke this out just now? Dang.
Just for you.
That
No, I'm
is-
just kidding.
Well,
I'm
obviously, yeah.
no.
I can totally use it. But I love how you said
No,
that
what-
too. It's like validating your
Yeah.
feelings.
Yes. It's
Dang.
a lot of times men will okay. Not you, honey.
No, and it's me too.
I've heard of other men doing this, okay? I've seen it in a movie or something. Okay, so wife's super upset and crying and sad, and they're like, I just don't understand what the big deal is. I don't understand why. It's like, okay, don't lie, but just try to pretend to understand. Calm her down a little, right? I was talking to a friend, actually, so the male is saying the female is highly emotional, right? Unreasonably emotional.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I said, okay, how many times in the last 2 months have you cried? Like that he knows of in front of him. Oh, too many, like, oh, I don't even know. How many times do you think he's cried in the last 10 years? Probably less than you in the last 2 months, right? So, of course he thinks you're emotional. If he was crying every other day, he would be like, I'm going crazy.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
So you be thankful you don't have the female hormones.
Say that again. I want to make sure I got that right. It
Okay.
makes sense you feel this way.
It makes sense that you feel this way. I understand why you would feel that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so for men,
But don't make it sound rehearsed. It has to be
I
genuine.
was just going to say
Don't-
that.
Don't get your 3x5 card out and go,
See,
it makes sense that you feel this way.
honey, I
Sweetheart.
love you. Remember? Okay, we got to talk. That was so funny.
Are
But
you
no,
thinking of Dennis the Menace?
No. Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
go ahead.
I was like, when he's like, Enug. That's what that reminded me of. Oh, no, that's not
I
what
was
you're
thinking when
Okay.
we were laying down that one night and you were like, oh, you're like, good night, babe.
I love you.
Yeah. You said it with
Yeah.
so much emotion too. You were
And
so
you're
like, yeah, you were like,
and you're like cleared your throat and you're like, love.
that
No
was
joke. That's
awesome.
a true story.
It was, yeah.
And I was
You were
like,
like, I love you so
wow.
much, babe. Good night, or something like that. And I was like,
And you're like,
love. Yeah, like literally,
he
like.
was like, oh.
But I like went to say something, and I like.
He was so
Choked.
emotional. He choked on his spit before he said it. That's what it was. He's like, oh God.
Yeah, that was totally it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, can you give me a tissue? Because I understand why you feel that way.
I understand.
That's why you were saying
It was, yeah. See, it
Yep.
hit me with a lot of emotion too.
See, men can be, emotional as well.
Oh my gosh. Well, we should start wrapping up. So
Yep.
what do you want to finish with? What's next?
So, what I would say,
Oh, here we go. This is good. I can already
a
tell.
lot of times what you are saying is not what I am hearing. Does that make sense?
Elaborate a little more on that.
So,
for
what
me.
you say, I can interpret wrong oftentimes.
It's
and
depend
what
on
I
like
say-
hormones or no?
No, and what I say to you, you can often misinterpret.
Yeah.
But what we have to remember is where is this coming from? Is it coming from a place of I'm attacking you and tearing you down at all times? No. Like, especially obviously in our relationship, the longer that we're together, the more we understand how we communicate to each other, right? We're like learning those different dialects.
Yeah.
But especially when you're first like newly together, a lot of times you'll misinterpret what they're saying and what they mean because it's not how you would say it. So I think just remembering, my spouse loves me. We are on a team. It is us versus the problem. Is before you cry your eyes out.
Before you get emotional.
Yeah.
I understand
exactly.
you feel this way, honey.
I know. Yeah.
That was pretty good, huh? I was acting, but
I couldn't even tell though. You got it down already.
I see. I just need to actually do it now after this
Now,
too.
now if I say, "Good night, honey, I love you."
Love. Okay, well, so we would like to close and just tell you guys, like, the big things again. It is a challenge. It's never going to be easy. You're going to work through this. It's not going to be just a walk in the park. Communication is something that you'll be working towards the rest of your lives. It's never going to be at a point where like, oh, it just works. You always
Right.
have to be intentional. You always have to be strategic on how you're communicating. And as long as you think that way, and like you were just saying, to make sure like you're that's your partner. You love each other. Like no one's out to get each other here. No one's out to like, oh yeah, I'm going to find a way. If you remember those little things and work in that and keep Christ at the center, read your Bible and stay completely devoted to that, men and women in that respect, you will be able to openly communicate and work well together. I think
Right.
that's the big closer is
Yeah.
like being able to function because two become one, right? In a marriage, that's the same in communication is a big key to that. If you can really work that communication out, you
Well,
now become one. I think
yeah.
that's huge.
And how do you figure out what the other person needs and what their expectations are? You have to communicate with that with them to find out what that is. You can't just assume, right?
Right.
Or it's like the love languages. We're giving them our love language when we need to find out what it is that they need. So what's our closing tip?
The challenge.
Action
item.
item.
Yes. Okay, so we'll call this the daily debrief. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to have you spend 10 minutes today with no screens.
A whole 10 minutes.
I know, isn't that crazy? It's pretty bad when you think about that. Like, you
10
should
minutes
be able to easily do
unplugged.
that.
Yes, don't worry. It'll be fine after a while. And what are we going to do? We're going to ask each other for that feedback. We're going to say, did you feel loved today? How are you going to respond?
Yes.
Honestly.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And what else are we going to ask?
How did you feel appreciated today? Those are
And
really, really good questions.
Is there anything that I can do to improve
Yeah.
in the way that I communicate with you?
Right. Hold hands,
Yep.
be serious, look at each other, ask those
Be
simple
serious.
questions. Well, you know
Yeah.
what I mean.
Yeah.
This is a time to really sit down and be vulnerable, be open, and remember, like, if you, just like you said earlier, like, you have to, if you want someone to know something, you got to tell them,
Yeah.
but you got to do it the right way. You got to communicate it strategically so they understand what you're saying. Does that make sense, everybody? I hope so. I hope all of our listeners, I hope we're communicating to our listeners.
Right?
Because if we're
Hopefully.
not, then we're not going to have a
We
podcast
fail.
anymore.
We quit.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, hopefully everybody got at least one or two little tips from that.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we're excited. So we're continuing our process through the spouse acronym. We go into you on the next episode, and that is, I think, honestly, that's one of my favorite, besides the S, the second S.
Is that because you're a delegator?
Oh, yeah. Totally. Yeah, that's
It's
me.
like I was
100%.
made for this.
Yeah.
You?
You.
What is it?
I don't want to say it yet. We're gonna
Oh,
wait.
it's
We're
a
gonna
surprise.
we're gonna
Okay,
make you
next
wait
time.
till the next episode, which it'll probably air, and then you'll just click on it. But whatever, you'll still wait a couple seconds. That is it, people. Thank you so much for joining us on episode 3 of the Spouse Podcast. This has been so amazing. Jeff and Lexie,
Thanks for listening.
we're out.
You didn't make it rain.
SPO